Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to
No.
Talk to Me Tuesday. Thank you guys for tuning in again with us for another Talk to Me Tuesday. And I'm your host, Sweet Pea.
And I'm the other host, Miss J.
Today is going to be really exciting because we're going to be talking about the power of the Black dollar.
Yes, our money, honey.
Yes, and how we spend it, what it goes to, how we can use it to influence and build our community. So make sure you guys show some love and share as always. And we just appreciate you guys for tuning in with us again for another Tuesday. So did you know that we had $1.3 trillion? Well, actually, I think it's like close to $2 million now in spending power.
Yeah,
That
2 trillion.
was
Yeah.
shocking to me. I
You know,
saw that. I was like,
mm,
wait a minute. What are we doing with that money?
we spend a lot. The only thing is that when it comes to that, we have the power because we spend, but we don't have the power of ownership with that
Yeah.
spending. And I think when I think about Black Wall Street, back in the day, they know, it's always somebody that's going to do you wrong, whether they're white or black. When it comes to business, it just happens, right?
Yeah.
But if we
Yeah.
can
That's
get
true.
past the myth that we can't work, I don't buy stuff for black people because they always doing this or black people doing that or black people. If we can get past that and learn to work together, unify each other, our community as a whole, our
Yeah.
race to work together, I think that is a big problem for us. Spending the money is obviously not a problem.
Right.
How we spend
Obviously.
the money, yes, but how we spending it and what we're doing with it. And I sent you that video, and the reason why I said this is because they had a point in that I really appreciate. It's like once a person gets out of the crab barrel, they make it. A lot of times they don't want to pass down information to help the next
Right.
person get out. Because like
Right.
it's like if you get out, it takes something from them by you getting out too, right?
Yeah. That's
So
like the most important thing. We
yeah,
gotta, I mean, for us, when you make strides and you're able to understand like how you got out and how to make money and how to invest and all that stuff, like you can't not give that back. You can't just take it to your grave. Like then that means you're taking jewels with you. Like you're supposed to help other people in your community, give them those jewels and that knowledge so we can all be a part of that. Like I like the couple that we seen, and I'm actually going to put the link below after we get done with the live so that anybody else can see. It was about being a part of the 1% and
right,
actually having more black people being a part of the 1% and, having money, so much money, you don't know what to do with it.
right, right. But and I also too where they were saying tell you some traits that they have learned in their process of getting to become part of that 1%, and they selfishness,
Yeah,
those I was like, really,
I
like, so you
know.
actually have to fight to get up there. And we all know it takes work, but we still
Absolutely.
should have that one hand down pulling somebody up.
Yes, let's see. Hey, Cedric, thank you for tuning in. He said a lot of it is people want to support the community, but there are people that are competing against you instead of supporting you. Absolutely. That's what me and Ms. J are kind of talking about here is that, a lot more people in our community can be successful if we share that information. And that's what I like so much about Talk to Me Tuesday is that we're sharing information because we want us as a whole to be better. And I
Yes,
think that if you know better, you do better. So
absolutely.
absolutely, Cedric, I appreciate that comment. That's true. We need to start helping each other out instead of being so competitive. But we know what that comes from.
Yeah, it comes with
We know
slavery,
what the competitive nature comes
trying to
from.
survive that slave life and
Yes,
just keeping our,
absolutely.
and we do become selfish to a certain degree, and sometimes, like he's talking about competing, and like I see that a lot on social media. You'll say, oh, that's great, instead of like if we talk about something and someone else talk about stuff, it doesn't take away from what they're talking about because
Yeah,
they're going
right.
to deliver it differently, or you understand what I'm saying. But
Yeah,
like we don't know how to work cohesively together. It's like either you or I, and it's enough for everybody because everybody,
right.
no matter what you do, it's enough for everybody. And I think that if we can just get past that somebody's taking something from us kind of like attitude, and work cohesively together, I think we do a lot better. We spend trillions of dollars a year. We don't, there's a few banks that are owned by us. So I won't say there's no banks, but you don't see our commercials on television. How about that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the first thing somebody will say, I ain't put my money in that black man bank, they're going to steal it.
Yeah.
You know? And
Exactly.
so if we don't believe in each other, we cannot ever expect somebody white, orange, purple, or green to believe in us. Because if we keep demonstrating the behavior that we have no trust for us, we can't demand nobody else to trust us.
Exactly. There was a thing that I was reading that was saying how, you know, a lot of the times we're not putting money into our own community. There was like a article, and I can't remember where it is, where it was that I was reading it, but it was saying that we have all this money and we have all this spending power, and that, you know, other companies target us because they know how powerful our spending is, but we do not go and spend it with our own kind. Like, there is a huge issue with us spending our money within our community. And a lot of the companies that are in our community are not black. You know, we know that.
Ours. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, you know, it's kind of hard. Yeah, it's hard, you know, because when you go to a gas station, or if you go to a liquor store or whatever, it's not owned by us. So we're giving them our money. It takes a little bit more time to find our companies, but we can do it. You know, we can start looking up around us where our companies are and then spending our money with them, instead of, like, it's easier to just go spend money with the other people, but we can be building our own communities by spending with us, like spending it with our own people, instead of sending it out of our community.
Because we'll go to a store, say maybe owned by an Asian lady, she'll make a mistake, we have a conflict, we'll pout, talk smack, we'll go back. But if we have a conflict or a misunderstanding with one of our own, we cut them off. It's like they can't fix it. They can't make it better. So it's the mindset, you know, it's the mindset that's destroying it. You know, we talk about financing, you know, knowing how to handle money, knowing what to, we'll spend our rent money to go to a concert, right? We'll go to McDonald's, we'll go to Starbucks, but we won't save $20 a month because we act like that's a hardship. But we'll blow a good $250 on, you know, clubs, drinks, eating out, whatever, you know, personals. But we won't instead of putting that back. A month. Right. So, you know, I used to, when I was in Atlanta, lived in Atlanta, I used to work with this gentleman named Anthony Storman. And what he talked about was, are you going to leave debt or are you going to leave a legacy?
Absolutely. And that's what a lot of the thing is that, you know, the other cultures that have these wealthy houses and it comes from generational wealth. It's not that they just came upon like a lottery ticket or something. They are passing it down. No, not all of them, but a lot of the people. Yeah, yes, absolutely. But a lot of it is generational wealth. You know, do we as a Black people, do we consider passing wealth down to our family? You know, is that something that we think about? You know, I think that it's some people that think that thought that they want to pass it down to their kids. But did you inherit any wealth from like your grandparents or anything like that?
Me?
Yeah. Is that something that, you know, was like common and talked about?
Well, it was known that there was my grandmother was an entrepreneur. My grandmother owned her store in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. So I came from a different kind of people. Like they always had their own. My brother owns his own business. Mm-hmm. So we're like those entrepreneur people, right? So, but what I think too is that you got to learn how to have money. Having money and don't know how to manage money is worthless.
Yeah, because you're just gonna lose it anyway.
Absolutely, and then you got to also realize we lost decades of the ability to build wealth. We were not allowed to work. We were not allowed to. We were not allowed. So that alone set us back, right?
Yeah.
So, and when we got it, when y'all look at all the stories and you hear some people, they started businesses and so forth, but most people were just so happy to spend and to have,
Right.
So, and having no previous experience of how to manage money, because you got to remember, you go from slavery to freedom, and now you got money.
Right.
Nobody
And
tells
the
you to
way,
sit back
a
and
way
be
to show
quiet.
that you're free is to
Right,
have things and to buy things. It's like,
right,
hey, I have power over my money. I'm going to spend it how I want to without,
right.
we weren't taught how to build and how to, actually hold on to some of that money.
Exactly. I
Absolutely.
think that's why Black Wall Street was so powerful, because that it was that possibility. Oh, this was supposed to do with that,
Yeah.
and then it was destroyed. However, when we know so we started late, and I was going to say that we started late. But another thing I want to say too before I lose my thought, when it comes to like a lot of the immigrant families and things like that, what they do differently that we don't do, because we don't want nobody in our house, they live together, from
Yeah.
grandmother to great grandmama to whoever can get in that house to contribute to that household. When I lived in San Gabriel in California, we lived in this little apartment. It was okay, nice area, but it was a whole bunch of Asian people in this one apartment. And so I made friends with the little girl, and so we started talking. I said, "So what do y'all do?" She said, "Well, my brother's going in medical school, my sister's in law school, and I think somebody else is going to be something else really big." I said, "You all live there?" Because they all had jobs, nice cars. She said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So my brother, once he becomes a doctor, he'll buy the house. Then we'll all move to the house. Then my sister becomes a lawyer, then she'll buy. And she was explaining their whole process. We would not live with each other. As soon as
Mm-mm.
somebody took our soda or ate our cereal, it's over. You
Yeah.
gotta go. Or you're always looking at me. Or you always, well, we to be cohesive like that. But like even the Latinos, all those cultures, Jewish people as well, we do not have that in our spirit for some reason, where we can all, me and my sister always talk about buying a piece of land and putting everybody on one piece of land.
Yeah. Right.
Right? Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Right? And so, but we as a people as a whole, when you talk about living like that, like, okay, Sweet Pea, when you get out of college, then I'll go to college. You didn't, because you won't have a job now. Trading off like that, that's how
Right.
they were doing. One graduate,
Right.
the next one. We don't, girl, I ain't waiting on her, because what happens if I get mine?
Right.
We just got such a different mind frame when it comes to the things that can get us to the place we need to be financial sufficient on our own.
Mm-hmm.
These other races, like you look at, I don't care what nobody say, when you look at like the Latinos, and you look at, some of these Jewish communities, the Asians, they buy from each other. They work together. They
Right.
network. But their
Right.
supplies come from one of them. They're in our community, but they're still networking with each other. For some reason, like the young man said, we just don't want to. It's so many of us who can't get that, get it going. It's like, you try it. Well, I'll do it if you do this. Like I remember somebody told me about a year ago, you need to stop giving away information. You need to start selling it, because
What?
that could be an income.
Yeah.
When I see people on Facebook doing it, even though they're doing it wrong, and she's like, you know the truth. I'm like, no, I can't get down like that. If I know something and somebody need it, I'm gonna give it. But that's how a lot of people make money. They have their
Exactly.
knowledge and they sell you their knowledge. And
Yeah.
then a lot of times they only sell you what they want you to know. So you don't even get the full picture,
Right.
right? So you're getting what they want you to have. So if we could just get to a point where to really be each other's keeper. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, really be our brothers and sister keeper. And we can really kind of like live, you ain't got to give away every secret. But if you see somebody struggling and you have an answer, what does it hurt you to say, hey, you know what? When I was at your point and I did X, Y, Z, I did this and it got me over. Try it. Or look, or maybe this is where you can find more information.
Yeah,
How do we lose?
exactly.
We don't lose when we do that.
No, we can only be better, especially seeing somebody else being, risen up based on how you're helping them. That is a gift right there. We have to see it as seeing your brother or your sister, even though they're not related, seeing
Right.
them being better and
Yes.
progressing is not going to take away from you. Like it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to set you back or anything like that. It's going to help you. Like, you're
Right.
giving back. So that can only be something good that's going to come to you. There was
Absolutely.
I think it's the Jewish community as well, where when they're having like a business or something like that, they all have this
Yeah.
sharing thing where one person starts a business, and then when they get to make the money back, they put it back in the pot for the next person. Like, how great would that be for us to do that? You know, I mean, come on now, like, how, you know, like,
they be looking for that pot. They be like, hey, and whoever got the pot would never be able to sleep.
No,
hey, where the money at?
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right. We're so afraid that, you know, the next person is going to be shysty or shady or not give it back or something. Like, we're not trusting. And we know that is like, that comes from slavery, them putting us against each other and them separating us and stuff. We know that's where it comes from. But at what point are we going to break free of this stuff and start helping each other? Like, we have so much power.
Yeah.
We have trillions of dollars worth of power.
Absolutely.
That we can be using and putting into our community and buying from each other and helping each other grow their business and things like that, that we can either make it to a point to where we have political power. Okay. So it doesn't just start at like buying. We can be having political power.
You know, it's, you know, we had Obama a little bit, but we had that. But what little Obama, you know. But what my thing is, I want to see us own businesses. I want to own like LeBron. He has a school. He owns that school.
Yes.
You know, I think it's someone else who did that. But there's a couple of people who own that school, or have purchased schools. When we in LA, there were young Black guys buying blocks, like buying shopping centers and creating jobs. You know, I want us to be able to do stuff like that. You know, stuff that we can build off of. You know, if you buy land. You know, when you rent, and I know everybody can't purchase a home, so please don't I'm not being disrespectful. But when you own that land, that gives you different power. You know what I mean? You own that land. And to have your own, a lot of times it's cheaper. And I didn't realize this till I purchased my home in Atlanta. I paid less mortgage than I was paying in rent.
Right. Okay. Hello to that.
Yes. So, and I know the credit score got stuff to do with it. So, but the whole thing was that I said, wow, all this time I've been paying this much money and I could be paying this because I was chicken.
Yes.
You know, and then the only thing what happens is that I was like, look, I just need my own so I can do the way I want. And I just looked up on a great deal, but I looked out, prayed on it, put in Psalms 23 and closed it, kept it moving. And so when you do stuff like, you know, we got to learn to purchase. We need to own this more and more. You know, even when you talk about the media, when you talk about like even where these studios, where these actors and actresses go, they don't own it, right? They work. That's their job.
Right.
And, you know, only person now on a studio is Tyler Perry.
Yes. I mean, I know it's harder for, you know, these things. It kind of makes you feel like that's impossible, but it's not. It just is going to take more effort. And then you're at a place where now he can hire Black actors and actresses, and he can produce his own films, and he can do all these things. Yes, it was hard. Nobody said it was easy for him to get his own studio, but look at the power he has now. You know, if an actor or actress gets, you know, how they blackball them or whatever like that, they can go to him. It's not like they're just out of luck. So think about the employment rate if you're owning your own business. There was something else that I read where it said that white companies were actually scouting Black college when you get your degree or whatever, they were scouting those. So instead of them stopping and, you know, thinking of maybe making their own business, they would rather go with a company because this company is willing to pay them a certain amount of money. So they're like poaching our people to run their business instead of them thinking, hey, I can run my own business. You know, so it's like taking away from our people that are graduating and things like that. where they could be running their own business.
I saw that article too, but you know what? We got to also remember, Sweet Pea. Everybody's not is not an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, there's some people that have that mindset though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if they had that mindset, they wouldn't have get recruited. Because I know when I was in college and we were talking about what we're going to do and everything, trust me, if you are already set with your brain to go do your own, can't nobody recruit you. But a lot of people want to get those student loans paid. A lot of people want to get that. I'm going to tell you, student loans ain't no joke.
No,
so,
they're not.
Yeah. So, you know, they're thinking about student loans. They think about eating. They can't go back to mama and daddy's. So a lot of times you have to start off where you start off at. And sometimes you can go to these companies and get information to move on and start your own. Because you got to remember, when we first come out of college, we book smart. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? So, because at first I thought I wanted to work for the record label. So I went to a record label. And then I decided, I don't want to do that. So you kind of figure out which way you want to go. Sometimes you got to step into something to figure out that's not for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, when you come out of college, you're not really ready. You still you got that paper, but now you got to figure out what you're going to do with it. A lot of people can't even find a job. So that's another panic. You can't find a job in your major. So then you're going to freak out. I got to take a job because I can't pay these loans, my credit. You know, you start thinking like that. So I get where you're coming from. Yeah, they probably are picking some of the elite, but maybe, you know, it could be that the elite have a plan, or it could be one of those elites that just not into entrepreneurship. They just into paper. They just want to get that bag.
Yeah.
But some people just want to get the bag.
That's true. That's facts. I think another thing with us is like you know, when our kids get a certain age, it's like, okay, it's time for you to go. And it's time for you to be on your own. And I even feel like with me, if I was like, you know, given a little bit of extra time, maybe I wouldn't have been so worried about student loans, you know, because now we do have our own business. And it's like, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Once you stop thinking about, I need money, you know, then you can actually think like, oh, this is what I'm trying to be doing. But I think that's one of the things too that kind of affects, if you want to start your own business, is that you have to kind of figure life out first, and then you can like start your business. So we're like started behind with that too, you know, whereas other people, sometimes they get to stay home a little bit longer and figure out their life. And we're set out quicker to try to figure that out. Plus, you know, what are you going to do with yourself?
Yeah. You know, and that's what we were just saying earlier, like how the, Jewish people and, you know, the Latinos, whatever, and the Asian people that I've known, that's how they did. If they stayed home until they were ready, they left prepared. A lot of times, young Black people, we're out the house, we're not prepared. If you're 16, you get your mama nerves. I've known people, their mama say, you gotta go. I said, you 16, where you going?
Yeah.
I'm not taking everybody. That's just one of those kind of people. But I've known people be kicked out at 16. I've known people, as soon as you turn 18, you got to go.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not really ready. You're not ready for the man games. If you're a chick, you may think you are, but man, you ain't ready because you ain't been in the streets. So you're not really street smart as you think, because you ain't been really in the streets. You've been dipping and dabbling and running home. But when you're really in the street, it's a whole different ball game. Mm-hmm. And like you said, it does cause us to be behind in reaching certain goals, but it does not mean we cannot achieve them.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's a time limit on when you can achieve your goals and things like that. And that's the one thing, is like, you know, there's no time limit on when you're going to be a certain successful and all that things or whatever, but you don't have to think that it's impossible. That's the important thing. It's like, it is possible. These are things that we can overcome, and these are things we can do. We can actually do these things. You know, we have to get past that mindset of thinking that everything's against us and that we're not going to be able to do anything. I see, John. Thank you for tuning in. See, hey, y'all excited to see y'all. Much love. Thank you, Mr. John L. Brown.
Thank you, John.
So I was looking, there was a website where I saw that you can you can go, it's an online market for Black businesses, and it was called WeBuyBlack.com. And then it's called another one called Black Wall Street, where you can find Black owned businesses in your area. Because there was one thing saying like, well, we can't find Black businesses or Black owned businesses. It's hard to buy Black. But there are websites out there that can help you find them in your neighborhood and in your area where you can support a Black owned business. And you can give your dollar back to the Black companies. Okay, I think we're having some technical difficulties. Let me see here. Are you able to hear me, Miss J?
So.
Can you hear me, Miss J?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I can read your lips, but I can't hear you.
Oh, no.
But it's okay. This is an important subject. So I just think that we just need to learn to work together, trust each other, and start building a foundation in which we all can benefit, because we're not part of the 1%. So that we're clear. And I just think that we just need to figure out how to create, I don't know, like a foundation, even if we have missed the mark as the older generation or whatever, create some type of foundation that those underneath us or next generation can do better, because we got to do it better. We can't save everything right now. Even if we got reparations, I don't honestly feel that the way that we are at right this minute, how much it would be of value to build, to make us self-sufficient. Because that's my thing. I like to be able, if I need something, I need to go to your store and I can get it from you, or you can direct me to someone else's store. I think, I don't know. I don't know why we can't do that. That right there really bugs my spirit, because I just don't understand why we can't get past it. Like, why can't we do better?
Right, absolutely. So I know that there is some issue with you being able to hear me. So what I was saying is I was going to put the websites down below so that we can share that with people. And another thing to think about is building wealth for our children and our children's children, so we can pass that down and we can keep our communities growing. It's going to be beneficial for us to share our knowledge. We have to let each other know what we have learned during our processes so that everybody can grow and that everybody can experience the power that we have in our community. We do have power in our community, and we do have the possibility of running things. We have that power. All we need to do is try and give back and stop thinking that everybody's out to get us, because not everybody is out to get us. So I'm going to put those, I'm going to make sure that I put those websites down in there so that you all can check them out, and that you all can see what's in your area and what business you're able to support, and see if there is something that you can find. There is also, if you are a Black owned business yourself, it will be great to post that down below so that we can share that as well. So if you have a Black owned business, or if you are starting your own Black owned business, you can go to Black Wall Street and you can list your business in your area, and people will be able to find you and be able to buy from you. So I know we were having a little bit of technical difficulties, and Ms. J was not able to hear me, but I hope that you all were able to get some good information from us. And I will make sure to put those down below so that you guys can find and support a Black owned business in your area. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching with us. We will be back again next Tuesday with another Talk to Me Tuesday.